Welcome to the Alien Probe Podcast. I'm Doug, and joining me today is Deb. Deb, how's it going?
It's going good, Doug. How are you?
Good. This close to the microphone.
Put that finger in my face one more time.
Deb's really a small person, so not small in personality, but small in...
Here, I'll move my chair up so I'm touching you. How's that? Is that better?
This is not the Joe Rogan experience. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about weird news. And we love weird news. Can you still...
What, you want me to say, sit on a cushion or something? Just keep moving the microphone.
Okay, so starting out today is we're in weird news. Hey, well, anything exciting happen? No near-death experiences on the way to work or anything like that?
No, life's okay. Traffic sucks because, everybody's back to work now, except me.
That's good, except you.
Except me.
Well, you're still working. You're just working
I'm
from
just
home.
not having to go into the office every day, yeah.
That's good. Good.
Still staying home, walking my dog. The dog is perched behind me, so if you hear some barking, that's when it's...
Yeah, he's laying on we have a day bed here in the office, so the studio.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start out with a Norwegian student found a boat launched by New Hampshire middle schoolers in 2020. The Bry Riptides began as a science class project in New Hampshire some 462 days, and 8,300 miles later, a sixth grader retrieved it from an uninhabited Norwegian island with its notes still attached.
Why was the sixth grader on an uninhabited island?
As I read that, I thought the same thing.
It must be something that you don't live on, but that people go and visit, or maybe he was running away from home. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was like Gilligan's Island?
We only have these blurbs. We don't have a whole lot of details, which...
I need a little more. Sometimes you do this to me. You give me these little blurbs, and then you don't... I want to know more.
Well, we can click on it.
No, we're not
read the whole thing.
It doesn't look like there is more. The French fry lover in your life may go head over heels. Oh, peels. Get it, peels for this perfume. And this came out in February, so it's a little late now. You have to do this for next year.
Okay.
Looking for a last-minute Valentine's Day gift? Idaho Potato Commission is giving away French fry scented perfume for Valentine's Day. Oh, you don't even have to pay for it. It's free.
Yeah, because it's gross.
Oh, come on, a little salt, little oil.
Why don't you just go to McDonald's and rub some on you?
Yes.
It's greasy enough. I'm sure the smell would stay on.
You know what that smell does in your car when you stop at McDonald's and those French fries? Yeah. Have you ever made it home with your French fries?
Not all of them, but they end up sometimes down in between. Back in the day when children were around, they'd have the
find that cold.
There's something about the cab of your truck or your car that there's a sour French fry.
That's just nasty.
It just gets hard, and then you vacuum it out.
I have a dog. That doesn't happen.
By the way, that was just in time for Valentine's Day. If we'd have seen it, it was February.
I know.
13th.
That's why I said now we have to go for next Valentine's Day. And so we have another Valentine's Day. Go for it, Doug.
For Valentine's Day, the Bronx Zoo lets you name a roach after your sweetheart.
Oh, but there's another article like this.
Yeah.
But not only do you get to name the roach after your sweetheart or after an ex, then they feed it to a lemur. I think it was a lemur.
A lemur? Maybe they should have lemurs in these cockroach infested buildings.
Let them loose in New York.
Scarf down a bunch of cockroaches. But the Bronx Zoo is offering an unusual way to show your undying love. It's Name a Cockroach program. For $15, you can name a Madagascar hissing cockroach after your special someone. But can you bring it home and say?
No.
Yeah, but how do you know which one's yours?
It's like naming a star. It's like naming a star.
You might be able to find the star, though.
Well, maybe they pierce your Madagascar hissing cockroach and give it a little medallion that says Doug.
It's got a nameplate. Like painted on there with a tiny paintbrush.
It can happen. They can paint my toenails with designs. They can paint a cockroach.
And they can put the Lord's Prayer on the head of a pin.
But they shouldn't. Okay, so an Air Asia flight was diverted after passengers spotted a snake on their plane.
Snakes on a plane. What do you think?
Footage of the snakes on a plane moment has been viewed more than 2 million times on TikTok. I'm not going to watch that because
It's crawling on the ceiling. It's above.
it's in
and
the light. Yeah.
Looks like.
See, I'm the one that would just grab the snake. Unless it's a poisonous snake, I would just grab the snake and contain it. It's just a snake.
You don't know if it's poisonous, though. I'm not going to grab it. I'm not touching it. I'm getting the hell out of there. You can let me back in when it's out.
Well, you're in air, so I don't think you're getting out.
I'm not much of a snake fan. The superb owl is back, and the crowd goes wild. In February, the Sunday football fans will choose sides in Super Bowl 56. But much of the country is preoccupied with football. While much of the country is preoccupied with football, many others will spend the day rooting for another team, the Owls, because the owl is back.
So they have an owl bowl? Is
Owl
that like
Bowl.
the puppy bowl?
I don't know if it's the Owl Bowl, but it's back.
The Portland Pickles. Oh no, the Pickles lost their mascot. They need your help finding their stolen mascot.
Dylan T. Pickle.
After being lost in transit for days, Dylan T. Pickle was shipped to the team's office only to be stolen off its porch. Oh, they got a porch pirate stole the pickle. The team is offering a reward. Stop it. The team is offering a reward for information or a no questions asked return. I think that's supposed to be 4.
Watch these robotic fish swim to the beat of human heart cells.
Oh, I saw this on the news.
Tiny robotic fish powered by human heart cells suggests that scientists are getting closer to their goal of building replacement hearts from living tissue. What are they going to do with those pigs? I thought we were doing pigs. Pig valves and things.
Well, they use pig valves, but this is actually building an entire heart, not just a valve. They're talking about building an organ.
Heart. That's amazing.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Just actually building an organ from cells and making them reproduce.
Well,
I still don't understand why we haven't developed a way to gestate a child outside of a human. You'd think by now there'd be some kind of tank where you could, it's happened in so many movies. But
why do you mention that? Would you have had a kid if
Well,
you wouldn't have
because-
had to have it grow inside you?
no, but there's a lot of women who can't, and so they have to use a surrogate
okay.
woman.
Yeah.
And you would just think with all the money that's, people will pour hundreds of $1,000s into having a child. They do the in vitro, they do the surrogate. You would think that by now they would have developed some functioning machine that would do that, but I guess the human body just can't be reproduced.
You can send a rocket to Mars, but you can't build a human heart. Or have a kid outside your body.
Yeah, isn't that? I mean, it just kind of amazes me
Just
because
grow
they can grow the embryo outside of you. They can
Yeah.
create an embryo in a lab, but they don't have a way to actually gestate it to term. I wonder if they're working on that.
The Dutch vowed to egg Jeff Bezos' yacht if a bridge is dismantled to let his boat pass.
Wow.
After early reports from that Rotterdam would briefly take apart a historic bridge for the yacht's passage, thousands of people joined a Facebook event called Throwing Eggs at Super Yacht Jeff Bezos.
That's the name of their event, Throwing Eggs at Super Yacht Jeff Bezos.
It explains what you're doing. Remember, when you have a company, you
Yeah,
always have the name in there.
But t-shirts cost per letter.
They could probably get a deal.
Oh, poor Jeff Bezos. He just can't get a break.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jeff can't get a break.
Price
Definitely.
controls, black markets, and skimpflation. The World War II battle against inflation. To control inflation during World War II, the U.S. government resorted to a wide-ranging, ranging
Change
price
the
controls.
Setting on the microphone, you sound tingy.
Their unintended consequences might explain why today's policymakers are reluctant to try it again. So during World War II, we tried to fix prices and it didn't work.
Idaho man says he's completed his goal of breaking 52 world records in a single year.
Which ones?
He must be working from home. Author and speaker David Rush so far earned 43 official Guinness World Records in 2021, including fastest time to arrange a chess set and most juggling catches while on a balance board blindfolded.
Who the
What do you
hell
think?
cares?
Well, you know what? It's important. You get published.
Look at him. He's losing his hair, therefore he's trying to
You think he's compensating?
compensate.
Wow.
A veteran won $4 million lottery prize using the numbers from a fortune cookie. Oh man, I've never done that. The North Carolina man turned his meal at an Asian restaurant into a Mega Millions jackpot when his cookies turned out to be extra fortunate. Mine only have the place that we go for lunch has Learn Chinese on the other side. They don't have the lottery numbers.
Oh, really?
No, it has a fortune on one side and then it has a word in Chinese. Learn Chinese, it says.
Does it tell you what the word means?
Well, yeah, but maybe it
Have you?
means
How
learn
many
Chinese.
have you learned?
That would be 0.
We won't discuss why you don't want to learn any Chinese words. The Great Resignation, more like the Great Renegotiation. The Great Resignation looks mostly like workers negotiating for a better deal, and which is, since was in management, I can tell you that most of the time it's like I'm leaving because I'm going here for X amount of money so that the current company can either match it, whether it was true or not, and then can match it or beat it, to retain the employee, which is important now because
Kind of let you know how good of an employee you are.
yeah, I mean that's you know
They
what?
say good for you.
It depends on the employee.
Can I
guess.
help you back up your desk?
Yeah, that's the kind of manager. I'll just train the other next person.
Oh, Simone Biles has a rival. It's a tiny bark beetle, but it can't stick the landing. Well, no, it's got no feet. A team of
When it wads itself up and lands, it's cool.
team of researchers.
It's kind of like when they hit and roll.
They don't hit and roll. They land the God. A team of researchers has discovered the gymnastic ability of a bark beetle larvae. Scientists recently recorded the larvae performing the twisting leap for the first time. Well, it does look pretty cool in the picture, but again, how do you land wrong when you don't have feet?
Well, it's as I can see with the timestamp here, it's 0.0038 seconds. I think it's pretty fast, so they had to do this time lapse.
I bet there's what you don't see is the finger that flicked it across the table.
Oh, wow. A Tongan man says he swam for more than 24 hours after a tsunami swept him out to sea.
Was he tired?
Lasala Falau told a local broadcaster about the swimming journey, which lasted more than a day and took him to 3 islands. Social media users hearing his story are calling him a real-life Aquaman. Honestly, I just don't understand.
So he swam to an island. Didn't like that island. Hi, dear. Come on. Come on. So he swam to one island, didn't like that island, swam to another island. So he really didn't swim for 24 hours. He landed on 3 different islands.
Yeah.
So
he did get a break. I was thinking, I don't know how you could do that.
Hi.
He probably did land on the islands and then finally got rescued. But what did he eat? You get a little weak if you don't eat. Eating seafood.
Send in the clones. Using artificial intelligence to digitally replicate human voices. That's kind of scary. Thanks to advances in artificial intelligence, it's never been easier or more affordable to make a perfect facsimile of a human voice, a celebrity, a world leader, or even a public radio reporter. So how scary is that?
Well,
Somebody could call you and say it's one of your kids and I need help.
Putin could call Biden with that fake voice. Someone else in Putin's voice goes, I give up. We're not doing this anymore. And we're stopping.
Psych.
Oh, wasn't it? Oh, Vlad. 3 cats have outmaneuvered their 2 humans to hold a blender hostage for weeks.
Oh, my Lord.
Jessica and Nikki Gersa Neves don't want to end the standoff that has brought joy to so many people, but they also want to use their blender, which has been in a box in their kitchen since December. I have a couple solutions to this problem. Okay.
Water gun?
All right, 3 solutions. I'm thinking, I'm thinking shoo the cats off the box, take the blender out, tape the box back together, and give it to because they don't care about the blender.
Well, what I don't understand about the picture is, see, there's a blender box off to the side, and then the cats are sitting here.
Maybe that's their new
Maybe
blender. They just bought another blender.
They just bought another box and set it up there.
You've got Pablo Escobar's hippos, the cocaine hippos.
This is the debate about Pablo Escobar's hippos. January of 2022, Pablo Escobar had a private zoo at his estate in Colombia with, zebras, giraffes, flamingos, and 4 hippopotamuses. After Escobar was killed in 1993, most of the animals were relocated except for the so-called cocaine hippos. Don't call them that. Authorities thought they would die. Oh, so you just left them there to die? But they did not.
But they didn't.
And now about 100. They've got 100 hippos roam near the estate. How many? Hippos are vicious. Conservationists, I don't know, are trying to control their population because they worry about the people and the environment. But some locals like the hippos. And a few researchers say the animals should be left alone and are filling an ecological void in Mexico or in Colombia. I didn't know they were big in Colombia. The controversy reflects growing debate in ecology about what an invasive species actually is. Because hippos are brutal. I mean, they kill a lot of people. And they're mean. And they sweat red.
They what?
Their sweat is red.
Like for blood? Or is it just a chemical?
It's like a chemical that makes it have a red tint to it. And you don't want to mess with a hippo. That's a big animal.
Is this a question you get on one of those things?
Oh, it is a trivia question.
It's a trivia question.
But they say they kill more people than anything else except, of course, mosquitoes. That's a stupid answer. Stupid mosquitoes.
Scientists think they found a big, weird moon.
Is that really a scientific explanation?
In a far-off star system. Weird. Well, it could be weird. That's our tagline. Everything weird, so it fits in. Scientists have found many planets orbiting distant stars, but so far no proof that any have moons. Now researchers have detected signs of a large exomoon orbiting a Jupiter-like world. Well, we don't know where it is. Well, of course, it'd be hard to find for us anyway.
It's Jupiter-like.
Jupiter-like, which, Jupiter's fairly large. So maybe, I say most of the planets in our solar system have moons, so I don't understand why they can't figure out if we just can't see that type. But now with the James Webb telescope, we're going to be able to see everything.
That's cool. A man who allegedly stole hundreds of unpublished book manuscripts now faces charges. For nearly 5 years, Filippo Bernardini allegedly... Oh, no, it's good, huh? Allegedly impersonated people in the book publishing industry, stealing unpublished manuscripts and notes, including from a Pulitzer Prize winner. Wow, he just I am a publisher. Send me your manuscript. But then did he sell them? They're not saying that,
No.
He stole their notes, and then did he, submit them to somebody else? What did he do with them?
I think that's probably how he got caught.
Wow.
But,
allegedly. I wrote this.
How subsidies helped Montreal become the Hollywood of video games.
Wow.
Montreal used generous tax subsidies to boost its video game industry. The policy has succeeded, but the city may need to keep the subsidies in place to keep companies from leaving. Well, maybe, California could take a page out of that book.
California just dares people to leave. I dare you. I'm going to double your taxes.
You're not going to leave. Next thing you know, oh, shit, Austin, Texas is pretty full.
When they laughed at Elon Musk, well, where are you going to go? I'm already gone.
I've already left. You just didn't know it.
700 sheep and goats were arranged in the shape of a syringe to encourage vaccinations. How amazing is that? That's one good border collie.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's like...
A shepherd in Germany arranged her animals into a 330-foot syringe to encourage people to get vaccinated. Well, that...
How did they do that? It looks like they're stuffed. I think they're in like a weird cage.
You think so?
Yeah, I think there's a fence or something. I don't think you can't keep sheep from staying in the shape of a syringe. Well, you got a couple of them, but not, one.
Or she did it on. She just did it on the computer, and it never really.
And it wasn't real. All right, our favorite things, shortwave style. My favorite things week on Shortwave through December 30th, we dive into our archive to bring all some of our personal faves, including behind the scenes story from the team. I don't know. It's from Shortwave. That's just a Shortwave article.
Just a shortwave.
Yeah,
just a
Shortwave
little
article.
one.
Yeah.
The man who said "Let's go, Brandon" to Biden on Christmas Eve says he was only joking. I am being attacked for utilizing my freedom of speech, he said. Oh, now you've got T-shirts, but you didn't say "Let's go, Brandon" to Biden, did you?
That isn't what he said.
It isn't what you said.
You know, I haven't discussed "Let's Go, Brandon" with my son Brandon, and
I'm
what
sure he
what he
doesn't
thinks
care.
about that. He probably doesn't care. 20-somethings are like, this means nothing to me. The sixth grader gave a classmate the Heimlich and saved a woman from a fire in one day.
Damn, what's a great kid.
A superhero. An 11-year-old boy from Oklahoma is being honored for his heroism after saving a choking classmate and rescued a woman from a house fire in one day.
Wow.
Is he from this planet?
That's I'm saying he just staged all of this.
You're such a skeptic.
I know. These mushroom foragers hit the jackpot. Then they got creative. A pair of fungus foragers in California's Humboldt County. Oh, you'll find more than
fungus in Humboldt.
Recently pulled in more than 200 pounds of chanterelles. Rather than cash in, they donated and got creative. So I wonder what they did. We don't know. Yeah, I don't know the rest of it.
Yeah, they hit the jackpot, though. 2 zebras who escaped from a Maryland farm are back after months on the run.
Oh, that must have been cool to see those running around.
The zebras had been on the loose since August 28th. A third escapee was found dead in September. Officials are conducting an investigation of the zebra's owner.
So you get investigated if your zebras get
Don't
loose.
let your zebras out. One of them died. That's weird. Somebody probably shot it. What the hell? Where am I? Am I in Africa?
Trump.
Oh, you got this one.
We're getting into old news here. December. This is in December.
It was 4 months ago.
Trump used profanity in accusing the former Israeli leader of disloyalty for congratulating President Joe Biden in last year's election. An Israeli newspaper reports. We didn't.
What do you think about that, Deb?
I'm shocked that he would have something bad to say.
Yeah, that kind of shocked me too. A Thai chain's cannabis pizza is trendy, but it won't get you high. The crazy happy pizza is under the radar product topped with a cannabis leaf.
One leaf.
It's legal, but it won't get you high. Unlike the legendary Happy Pizzas in neighboring Cambodia's capital under Phnom Penh. Yeah, they have the real stuff there.
So pizza that'll get you high.
Pizza
That's funny.
you're already, to get the munchies, you're already eating
Well,
it.
I just, putting a can of, it's like those people that put, like they put gold leaf into a drink so it's a $10,000 martini. It's like, no, that doesn't really do anything for you.
Yeah.
Canada taps into strategic reserves to deal with a massive shortage of
Maple syrup.
While high gas prices have pushed Biden to tap into our strategic oil reserves, America's neighbor to the north is also dealing with a shortage of another so-called liquid gold.
I wonder how much it is for a gallon of maple syrup. I know
don't know,
chlorine costs more than gasoline right now.
There was a whole episode, remember the mom episode where they had the black market
Yeah.
maple syrup in the big barrel?
Oh, they went up. They
They
went up
to
and grabbed
Canada
it.
and got them some. Yeah, so I guess it's a pretty expensive stuff. I don't know. You don't
Weird.
like maple syrup, so.
No, I'm not a big maple syrup fan. The conglomerate paradox as GE splinters Facebook becomes Meta. GE announced it's breaking into 3. Meanwhile, tech companies continue to take over a wider swath of industries.
That's right. Facebook has a new name and nobody noticed.
It was a Meta.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Cash. Oh, I remember this. Cash scattered across the Southern California freeway sent drivers into a frenzy. In northern San Diego County, Traffic came to a standstill after an armored car accidentally spilled ones and 20s across I-5, prompting people to flee their vehicles and grab wads of cash.
Who drives an armored car and just like the door flies open and just loose cash flies out?
I thought the money would be like contained.
It isn't like stacked like you see when somebody breaks into a safe and it's just stacked there. I mean, it's in bags and it's pre-counted by the account they pick up and everything.
I don't know, but it happened.
They dropped it. One of the bags fell out. Probably.
Remember the people that were standing there holding it up with their face on there because it's illegal to take the money.
Yeah.
And so these people were taking selfies with the money. So I think they got a lot of it back. And then the other people were smart, grabbed and ran. So
Meanwhile, an armored car driver's terminated.
Yeah,
or his assistant or whoever, probably not the driver.
He'll be driving something else soon.
That's nice. 3 dead, hundreds injured after storms roused scorpions in Egypt. The city of Aswan has been dealing with an influx of scorpions and snakes, thanks to a rash of heavy storms disturbing their hiding places.
Oh, man.
We were just talking about scorpions and snakes yesterday. I know when I was in Fort Irwin down in California, there was a lot of those down there.
Yeah.
And that's why I slept on top of a truck's canvas instead of on the ground. Even though they gave us pallets, so they can't crawl up those frickin' pallets, right?
Yes, they can. I once found one in my stepdad's shoe.
Oh.
We were up in Georgetown, and he was about to put on his shoe, and I'm like, there's a scorpion in that shoe, and damn if I would have just let him put on that shoe.
You weren't a big fan, huh?
I don't know. If I could, he still didn't like me. Even after I saved his life, he didn't like me. After a 52-year chase, authorities ID the man behind an infamous Ohio bank heist. Theodore John Conrad made off with $215,000, or around $1.7 million in 2021 dollars, when he robbed the bank where he worked as a teller in 1969. So he made it for 52 years, and they finally found him. What are they going to do to him?
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's a statute of limitations as long as no one got hurt. There might be a statute of limit, but that's federal because it's a bank. So.
Well, they ID'd him. That doesn't say they did anything to him.
May have passed already. A broken toilet on SpaceX capsule means astronauts will return to Earth in diapers.
Wasn't this a
This
Big
is
Bang
the best
theory?
one already. Yeah, I know. NASA astronaut Megan MacArthur called the situation suboptimal.
Oh.
That's perfect. But says the crew's 4 astronauts are prepared to deal with it. They'll return home after spending nearly 200 days in space. So okay, that begs the question: how long's the toilet been out? And what do we do? What are we doing with all?
But I think the toilet are these guys coming back from the space station, or this is just a SpaceX?
Yeah, it's the capsule.
Just the one that doesn't
they'll
go...
return in diapers on just the return. It's not on the space station.
Okay.
So they'll be okay for the return trip.
All right, so now this one's important. A potato the size of a small dog is found in New Zealand.
It's in a Tonka truck, in the back of a Tonka truck.
A couple discovered the giant spud while weeding. We couldn't believe it, said Donna Craig Brown. It was just huge. I don't know. I don't do a New Zealand accent.
Can you say that again? It was just huge.
It was just huge.
Very nice.
They've applied to Guinness to have it recognized as the world's largest potato.
They better hurry.
But there are small dogs that weigh 3 pounds. I don't know.
It's a big.
But it's in a toy truck.
And it's not very
aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, it's not very good looking. It looks like it's got tumors all over it. I don't know. A retired utility worker has won a $2 million lottery for a second time.
Did he use the fortune cookie?
The 65-year-old Maryland man says he plans to use his winnings on some home improvement projects and, of course, a family vacation. Sounds like us. Yeah, fix the house up.
We'll just fix the house up. Nothing exciting.
What about spiders, Deb?
Spiders can have arachnophobia. So spiders are afraid of spiders? Well, that's because
Sounds
spiders
like it.
eat each other.
Yeah.
If you're not so fond of spiders, you may find kindred spirits in other spiders. Researcher Daniela Rossler worked with jumping spiders. Oh, God.
How fun is that?
that they know to get away from the presence of other possible predator spiders, even if they've never encountered them before. Yeah, instinct.
Get it off, get it off. It jumps on you. And
She talks
Yeah.
with host Maria Godoy about her research and what Halloween decorations do to the poor spiders if arachnids can have arachnophobia. No, they just know what eats them.
Yeah.
Bugs know. Because everything eats them.
That's why they have eyes all around. They're prey. They have eyes all around. Meat skimflammation, a reason inflammation is worse than the government says it is. This article isn't long enough to talk about this, but
Yeah, but I've been hearing a lot about this on the news.
skimflammation, really?
We're spending more and getting less. They're shrinking everything. Come on, you notice the ice cream containers, how much smaller they've gotten.
Candy bars.
Toilet paper, they're still the same length around. They're squishing them in, so you're missing like a quarter of an inch on each.
No wonder it goes by so fast.
Yeah, they're actually making the rolls thinner.
The candy bars.
Candy bars have gotten
Remember
smaller.
how big they were when you were kids? Yeah, bam! Halloween.
Everything that you buy, if you notice, they're charging the same price, but they're just a little bit less in that package. Yep, skimpflation.
Skimpflation.
It's happening. Not inflammation.
Skimpflammation. Carmen Mola was a popular Spanish novelist. 3 male writers made her up.
I love this.
Antonio Mercero, Agustin Martinez, and Jorge Diaz not only created a series of highly successful novels in Mola's name, but also invented the author herself. Have you heard of this before?
Yeah, I heard about this. Yeah, she was all famous for being female, and these guys are writing as a woman. Well, it's like J.K. Rowling, who did all the Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah.
She went by J.K., so
Right.
that nobody knew whether
I
it was
think
a
they
male or
assumed it
female.
was a man, because it's a man's world.
we're just a misogynistic world.
It's a man's world. No, it's not.
Oh, that's where the self-driving Waymo cars gather in a San Francisco neighborhood, confusing the residents. The cars have been converging at all hours of the day and night, mystifying neighbors. Invasion of the self-driving cars? Not quite. That's where they're testing them, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was San Francisco, but I saw an article. I saw a segment on TV where there's a neighborhood where they're testing them, and they're going around, and it's a dead end street, so
Yeah.
the cars are going down this dead end street all day long, testing, and these people are living there going, okay,
I'd be pissed.
it's a dead end, like our street's a dead end street. If you had that on the end, we probably wouldn't care if it was where we are, but at the end, when they're stopping and having to do two double UWs or whatever to get out of there.
When somebody at the end of the street, because we're on a dead end street, when somebody at the end of the street decided to put in very extensive Christmas lights, they got written up in the newspaper. Because it was the guy owned a radio station, and so he had a channel that you could tune into, and the lights were synchronized with the music.
Very
and
nice.
It got into the paper. The street was wall-to-wall cars for the entire month of December. You couldn't get out of your driveway.
That wasn't here, was it? That was somewhere else.
No, that was here.
Oh,
on the
you
street.
got
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It was the people up. If you go up to the end of the street and make a left, there's a house up there, and that's who did it. And he got tons of stuff for charity. He had like a
That's good.
thing out there for charity and stuff. But enough neighbors complained that he only did it for a couple of years. It was funny because I didn't care because once it's dark, I never go anywhere.
Yeah.
But at first I was like, who at the top of the street is having a party? And then I noticed that all the cars were just kept moving and stuff. So I instead of walking up there, I actually asked a neighbor, "What's going on up the street?"
It's Christmas lights.
It's Christmas lights.
A New Zealand city is taking its official wizard off the payroll after 2 decades.
Why?
The Christchurch City Council will end its contact with Ian Blackenberry Chanel, reportedly the world's only state-appointed wizard. The Wizard of New Zealand has had a long and unique career.
Oh, and they're getting rid of him? That seems wrong.
Yeah, he's out.
Sprinklergate sinks a UK bakery's top sellers after topping is found to be illegal. It is highly unlikely they'll find any legal sprinkles that we'll use as a replacement, said Rich Myers, owner of the Get Baked Bakery in Leeds. I'm extremely passionate about sprinkles. I wonder what's in those sprinkles.
I don't know.
A little opium or something? I don't know.
Toppings found illegal, but what was illegal about it? They didn't say.
Yeah.
Well, The zebra that escaped from Maryland farm has died. Well, that we just read about that.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about the one that
Oh,
died.
but this one got caught in a trap. Oh, you
Underway to
snared it.
determine who set the snare trap that killed the zebra on a Maryland private. Why do they have snare? Does Maryland have a lot of animals or something?
Yeah, there's a big zebra problem.
The
in
zebra
Maryland.
problem in Maryland. And well, if they had a snare trap that was big enough to kill
know.
a zebra, they must be anticipating something fairly large up there.
I don't
Maybe
know.
this bears investigation. And the person who set the trap could face charges,
I
but
hope so.
probably won't. Okay.
The mystery of the that looks gross. A mummified Twinkie. A box of Twinkies left alone for 8 years. Remember, they used to say that Twinkies never go bad.
Yeah, it looks like they do.
They left alone for 8 years held some surprises for Colin Purrington. Upon having a sugar craving, combined with being just so bored with the pandemic,
Oh, wow.
Purrington opened the box a few weeks ago. Like many people, Purrington believed Twinkies are basically immortal, although the official shelf life is 45 days. Yeah, not 8 years, you weirdo.
What's a name calling here?
NPR's Nell Greenfield voice talked to Purrington and explains how two scientists got involved and started unraveling the mystery of the mummified Twinkie. Well, we should have listened to that, because I'm thinking 8 years, a box of Twinkies. Why would you have anything in your house for 8 years?
Yeah.
Said the person who threw away many cans of expired soup when you moved in.
Remember Zombieland when they were trying to find Twinkies?
Twinkies? Yeah.
Well, those were fairly fresh. They weren't.
Yeah, but they found snowballs.
Oh, instead. And he was
Ugh.
mad.
Those
You don't
are
like
so
snowballs?
gross. I
Oh,
don't
you're
like
not a
coconut.
big coconut fan, are you?
No.
Nice. A Nobel Prize for a Revolution in Economics. David Card, Joshua Angrist, and Guido Imbens win Nobel Prize for Revolution How Economics is Done.
Oh, wow. That's a sentence.
Really? I didn't know you could. Maybe we should have done that.
Okay, cockroaches are cool. Not only can you name name them after people.
We haven't gotten there yet. Did we already do that one?
What? The one about
Cockroaches
yeah,
being
you did
named,
the one
yeah.
about naming cockroaches, and I told you can feed it to something. Producer Thomas Liu teams up with self-proclaimed lesbian cockroach defender. Are cockroaches lesbians?
I don't know if I
Perry
even want to
Beasley
comment
Hall
on that.
to convince a producer and guest host Rebecca Ramirez that indeed they are underrated. These critters could number up to 10,000 species, but only about 30 are pesky to humans, and some are beautiful and complicated and maybe even clean. Oh, that time when my grandmother rented a house that had cockroaches in it.
Yeah.
I had never seen cockroaches, and Grandma was not the cleanest person, so she rented this, and it was a house next to where my stepdad had lived. It was like all these little houses on a piece of property, and she moved in, and there were cockroaches, so they came and they fumigated, and I still.
Is that where they put that like tent all over the whole house?
No, they didn't do the tent thing. They just put the bug bombs, those little things, and you have to foggers or whatever.
You have to leave
for
so it
after
doesn't
hours.
kill you.
And we came back, and now normal people would go and do a deep cleaning at this point, but Grandma didn't. And I still, to this day, I can remember stepping on a dead cockroach in my socky feet. And it...
Did it crunch?
Oh, it didn't... Well, no, because I was like probably 7, maybe 10. So
Yeah.
I was little. So it didn't crunch. So my little socky feet just stepped on it, and it just... Oh, I could feel that. Oh, God, it's so gross.
Well, so ends the cockroach corner.
Oh.
Massive Byzantine winery discovered in Israel. Wine presses, warehouses, and kilns were uncovered by archaeologists who believe the winery produced a fine white wine. We know
how
booze
cool.
has been around
Forever.
for a long time.
I saw Game of Thrones. That's all they drank. A ninja with
They didn't have beer?
No, they would drink wine.
Oh, I thought they had beer.
No, they were always drinking wine. I don't remember any beer. A ninja with a sword assailed a U.S. Army Special Operations Unit in California. I don't remember this. A man wearing full ninja garb staged an attack in the middle of the night at a small airport in California.
That's a sure way to get your ass kicked. Special operations. You're coming in with a sword. They do care, but not a
They won't
ton.
hurt you. They're
Yeah.
kindly people.
Yeah, they're going to take that sword from you and do horrible things with it. For $84,000, an artist returned 2 blank canvases titled "Take the Money and Run." Perfectly titled. The work is that I have taken their money, artist Jens Hanning said of his new piece. The commissioning museum in Denmark isn't satisfied with his explanation, but is displaying the work nonetheless.
Yeah, he did. He just took their money and
Here's your art.
That's your art.
And then they displayed it.
I mean, you could at least put a stick figure on there. I mean,
maybe hopefully signed it.
Yeah.
At least he had a signature.
A man died from rabies in Illinois. The Illinois Department of Health says an elderly man died from rabies after waking up with a bat on his neck and refusing rabies treatment. It's the first case in the state in 1954, since 1954. So, oh my God, he woke up with a bat attack. Ugh.
Okay, so, well, first of all, that's horrific. Second of all, you were telling me that there's a dog foot underneath
There's a little doggy right there.
my backdrop. They don't give you those shots in your stomach anymore, huh?
No, it's just like one shot now. It's because Sally had to.
I remember growing up, man. That was one of my fears, where I was always out and about and
They're
with
always telling
nature
you,
and stuff.
don't mess with stray dogs. You'll have to get shots in your stomach and it hurts. No,
Yeah.
my aunt had to get them after getting bitten by a feral cat, and it wasn't that bad. It's still not pleasant, but it's not like it was. Fireball
meteor caught on camera soaring over North Carolina at 32,000 miles an hour. That's even faster than a UFO, Deb.
Is it?
The bright phenomena was videoed above the coast of North Carolina on Friday night. Sightings were also reported in South Carolina, Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia.
Wow.
I wonder how they clocked that thing at...
The radar gun should not go that high.
Yeah, I know. Who clocked that thing? Well, they do it between two. The way they do it with UFOs, they take 2 points and then they measure the time between start your stopwatch and end it, and do the math. So I guess they probably could do that.
Rare Pokemon Oreos are selling for thousands of dollars on eBay.
How old are those things?
One cookie featuring a rare Pokemon sold for $15,000. This is giving new meaning to the catchphrase, gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah, but
Pokemon.
do they keep better than Twinkies?
Twinkies? I don't know. Better display it while you can. Because remember when we had people in my office, grown adults, walking around our parking lot playing Pokemon Go on their phones.
Yeah.
And then there's a church in our parking lot. And churches tend to be the places where you go to battle your Pokemons. I still never understand how this works, but you're supposed to be near a church, and then you can do battle with other people's Pokemons and win their Pokemon.
Is this still going on?
I think it still exists. I saw people at the river walking along doing that, and that's when I almost tripped over Rattlesnake earlier. And I said, you guys have to look at the ground once in a while. You cannot be looking at your phone searching for
I took
Pokemons.
I took Brandon out to do, because he wasn't driving. I said, well, we'll go out, and one of the activities we did one Saturday or Sunday, and then Old Folsom was it was a hot spot for some Pokemon action.
Well, I think a lot of stores are like, make me a Pokemon spot so that, people like Old Sac, Old Folsom, get the tourists in there, chasing their Pokemons. They'll get tired and want to eat lunch at some point in time.
Robert, if you're listening, a crypto trading hamster performs better than Warren Buffett and the S&P 500. A hamster named Mr. Gux
Mr. Gux
enters one of 2 tunnels in his cage to determine whether he will buy or sell.
Oh my God.
As of Friday, the portfolio was up nearly 20%, according to Twitter.
He has his own.
It makes me
Twitter
feel
account.
stupid trading 3 stocks at a time and can't get $100. I need it. What is it? A guinea pig?
It's a hamster.
Hamster.
It'll be dead soon. They don't live very long. A 10-foot wide house in Boston sells for $1.25 million. It's been called the Skinny House or the Spite House. The legend is that 2 brothers shared land, but one built on more than his share. So the other built a skinny house to block access and views.
What a
Sounds
dick.
like your children.
Yeah, it sounds like my kids. Do something. They don't want to be that close together.
They would
so.
never build on the same land.
They don't think they're going to be building. It's like, yeah, I need to be states away from everybody. A chaotic showdown with a crossbow-wielding man leaves 2 people dead.
Don't take on this crossbow-wielding man.
Police were initially called in an apartment building in the Dutch city of Almelo for a reporting stabbing incident Friday morning. They were confronted with a man standing with a crossbow on his balcony. Sorry. My apologies to, where is this? Is this Dutch? Which country is this? Oh, Dutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I butchered the name of your city.
We don't speak.
There's been a lot of this going on with the names and the city names. What do you got here? Facebook.
I don't want to read this one.
Oh, I'll read it. Facebook apologizes after its AI labels black minutes. Oh, yeah, I don't even want to.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, we're not going to read
One
this.
man's journey to document the
Yeah, we're gonna
strangest
go over that.
McDonald's in the world. Max Krieger celebrates the most uncommon locations of the restaurant that serves as a common bond for most of us. He plans to visit remodeled sites and ones that persist in all of their eccentric glory. Oh, when we were in high school, we went on a field trip. My FFA went on a field trip. That's the Future Farmers of America. We went on a field trip up to El Dorado County somewhere, and there was a McDonald's that had like the bars, they had a little bar area, and the bar stools, they were saddles.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it was all Western themed McDonald's. We were so excited. It was just the cutest thing in the world.
But one man's journey to document the strangest McDonald's in the world.
Yeah. Remember when they used to have like themed McDonald's? Now
Yeah.
they're all the same. Now they just, cookie cutter them. But back then each town had a little themed.
Oh, I didn't
And when
know.
Kim and I went to Monterey, we found a bistro McDonald's.
Yeah.
It was like a fancy sit down, different items McDonald's. I've never seen it. And then we asked them, what is this? And they said it was like a prototype. They were, beta
really?
testing. And it was pretty cool. I've never seen that again. Fancy McDonald's.
But Max Krieger celebrates the most uncommon locations of the restaurant that
I just read
serves.
that.
Did you read that?
Yeah.
Scientists discover fossil of a 4-legged whale with a raptor-like eating style.
Oh, okay, I don't want to know about this.
I thought you just read the top
No,
of it.
I
I didn't
read
think
the
you
whole
read the
thing.
body.
Yeah.
Are you terrified yet? Because we certainly are. Scientists even named their discovery of a 43-million-year-old fossil after Anubis, an Egyptian god associated with death.
That's right.
What do you think?
A 4-legged whale with a raptor-like eating style? That sounds frightening.
What's scary about that?
Yeah. A startup is turning houses into corporations, and the neighbors are fighting back. The real estate startup Picasso has rocketed to $1 billion valuation, but its recent fights with communities could foreshadow business troubles ahead. I guess they're trying to, I don't know. I thought I understood
What are they trying
that.
to do?
I thought I understood that.
Has rocketed to $1 billion valuation with recent fights with communities could foreshadow business troubles. I don't know. It's a weird one. For Friday the 13th, say it with us.
No.
You have to say it because I can't.
Parasgesvedecratiaphobia.
We'll teach you how. We can't help you with your fear of Friday the 13th. What we can do is tell you that your fear has a name and what you just said, and we can teach you how to say it. Well, we're not going to learn how to say it because that's as good as it's going to get. And how the pet revolution unleashed a new top dog in America. A new book argues that we've seen a fundamental shift in the treatment of pets since 1998.
Well, yeah, there was a time I worked in a pet store as a child. There were 2 brands of dog food, Wayne's and Purina. And now there's whole stores dedicated to selling dog food. I mean, there's hundreds, thousands of brands. And there's, Bark Box, our dog gets a monthly subscription box of toys and treats.
How much do you pay for dog food, Deb?
It's about $75 a bag. But that lasts, a month. You wish you could buy.
How big is the bag, Deb?
It's not 40 pounds.
And how long does it last you?
I think it's about a month. He goes through about a.
Did you just mention food?
You said dog.
Mention dog food.
Because I wish I could buy
In comes a dog.
What if I could buy our groceries for $75 a month?
I don't think it lasts a month. It seems like we're changing that bag.
No, especially now that we're down to one dog.
The musician's unlikely duet partner, the Golden Gate Bridge. Renovations of San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge made it produce an eerie humming sound. Guitarist Nate Masuro heard its musical potential and made an album by playing along.
That is not a sound nobody wants to
Golden
listen
Gate
to.
Bridge, it's more like, ah! Well, they used to be. I don't know if you ever saw this, but this is weird too. I was watching I had just gotten cable up in Cameron Park, and I ran across a weird state. It had this weird, I don't know if I ever told you about this before, probably. That had cameras on the Golden Gate Bridge, and it would film people jumping off. I mean, what they were doing, like, not just jumping, they would film, like, they'd get up. It's like they're thinking about it, and then they just launch themselves off the bridge. It was, and there's you wouldn't believe how many people jumped. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, I've heard those stories.
And one guy suicide is horrible. And one guy said he survived. He says, you know what? The minute I launched myself off the side of the bridge, I realized that all my problems weren't as big as I thought they were.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them thought that.
It's like, and many have problems, and I understand. It's depression and everything else, so it's bad news.
Well, if this doesn't depress you, how a beloved giant rat won free speech rights. The 12-foot tall inflatable called Scabby has been used for decades as a symbol in union disputes. Last year, the National Labor Relations Board signaled it could outlaw its use in some situations.
In LRB, Scabby, because you're a scab. I
know. I get the.
You know what the scab thing is.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a way you can beat the best investors. You've just got to know when to sell.
You need a hamster.
A new study finds finance professionals fail at their jobs in a surprising way. They are lessons for all of us. You don't know when to get out.
Hamster.
That's kind of my thing too. I don't like losing money, so I'll let that thing go. I bought Fruit of the Loom back in the 80s, and I'm still complaining. I lost $300 because Fruit of the Loom went down so far that it actually, this is during this might have been around the 2009 actually, that failure. And it ended up going off the market. But yet Fruit of the Loom still exists. It's just not publicly traded. And I lost my $300. I'll never forget Fruit of the Loom.
Bastard.
What do you got?
You're a Haynes man from here on out.
I'm Haynes. Will you get your Haynes on me?
A photo of a real-life sponge and starfish hanging out together delighted the internet. But the reality is a little crueler than perhaps a cartoon would suggest, said the researcher who posted it. Why?
I don't know.
God, you got to give me more. I need more.
SpongeBob looks
I know,
alike.
but I don't know why is reality a little crueler. Were they
You're
dead?
going to make me take this when you skipped it. You can now possibly get your hands on a piece of Princess Diana's wedding cake. How'd that hold up?
Like the Twinkie? Just like the Twinkie.
A large slice of icing from one. Ooh, we like the icing.
I do like icing.
From one of nearly 24 official 1981 wedding cakes will go up for auction next week. The auction house says it's in good condition, but we advise against eating it.
Remember the Seinfeld when Elaine ate the JFK wedding cake?
No, I don't know.
That was an episode of Seinfeld with JFK. Remember the magazine that she worked for, the catalog?
Yeah. So she ate JFK's wedding.
She ate it, yeah. The gun that killed Billy the Kid is going up for auction. Starting bid is $2 million. You want an iconic piece of the Wild West. The gun that killed, that's a dog scratching.
Goes up for killed Billy the Kid, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'll take lightning bugs, fireflies for $20. Call them what you will. They're awesome. There are thousands of species of lightning bug, and they live all... You just want to take this because you don't like bugs.
I don't like bugs.
They live all over the world except in Antarctica.
Nothing lives in it.
Maddie and Emily discuss lots of other amazing tidbits about the family Labridae and talk about what humans do to preserve the bugs, which are facing widespread habitat disruption.
I've never seen a lightning bug. They're not in on
And
the West Coast.
does Maddie and Emily have a show?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, you've heard of that?
So.
Okay. Here you go.
What, that mac and cheese is the ice cream you never thought you'd need and now it's hard to get?
Mac and cheese. That's how I knew when we were in trouble during the pandemic. I go in there where there's no macaroni cheese.
The Kraft macaroni and cheese is
This
gone.
is depressing. Then we bought like 20 boxes.
No,
of
you
it.
could only buy 2 boxes. I went to Smart and Final and they had a 5-pack. And I put it in my cart and they said, no, you can't buy this. You can only have 2 boxes. I said,
Rationing macaroni cheese.
well, then unwrap the goddamn thing. What?
How do I know?
I'm supposed.
Or put a sign up.
I put it in my basket and I got scolded for trying to buy too many.
Smart and Final, and I will say that the mask, because I have a tendency to wear my mask under my nose, which was.
Yeah,
And I would, twice I walked in there and I got, that same cashier got on me. And he was evil.
Yeah.
Put your mask on!
Buy your mask on.
That feels like. And then we went to that other place, antiquing. Yeah, I want to go back in there. My mask.
That
Now
was
what?
the guy who said, what did he call you, pal or?
Pal. Put your mask on, pal. I'm like, don't call me pal.
Bite me.
I'm not your pal.
But macaroni and cheese ice cream is here, and I'm not going to try it.
Yeah. We are living in the last days, comedian Josh Prey says. Oversized goldfish are taking over one Minnesota lake, causing issues for local fish.
Oh, that's because people are putting them in there, aren't they?
Officials have urged... well, they don't want to put them in the toilet. They just want to, have urged residents and owners of pet goldfish not to dispose of them in local lakes, warning that doing so does major environmental impacts. I pawned one time where I took those feeder fish.
Stop it. You're not supposed to do that.
And I just bought like the feeder fish. And then, they cost like 12 cents a piece or whatever. And I let them go. And they grew pretty big. And I'll tell you, every one of them was something different.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So where do these things come from? Where they just other feeder fish?
I know Kim had one. She had an arowana in a 70-gallon tank in her living room, and the arowana stopped eating its feeder fish. So it was an arowana and 2 giant goldfish in this damn fish
What was
tank.
it eating? Was she feeding it tubiflex or
Probably
something?
tubifex worms, yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. Speaking of worms, the mysterious ice worm. On the mountaintop glaciers of the Pacific Northwest lives a mysterious and often overlooked creature. They're small, thread-like worms that wiggle through snow and ice. That's right, ice worms. Weird. NPR science correspondent Nell these names, Greenfield Boyce, there's no hyphens in there either, talks to Emily about how they survive in an extreme environment and why scientists don't understand some of the most basic facts around them.
Are we done?
No.
I'm not doing shrinkflation again.
Oh,
The Navy corpsman receives a Purple
don't
Heart,
repeat.
but he doesn't think he deserved it. About 1.8 million people have received the Purple Heart for being wounded or killed in combat. A recent recipient says many merit the award, but feel their injuries were too minor to pursue it.
Yeah.
So you have to apply for it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that.
Maybe sometimes you have to ask to receive it.
Well, we're going to conclude this exciting episode of the Alien Probe podcast. Deb, thanks for joining in.
Thank you, Doug.
Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Alien Probe podcast. We welcome comments, questions, or requests to alienprobepodcast@gmail.com. Visit us on Facebook at alienprobe.net, Twitter at alienprobepod, Instagram at alienprobepod, and see us on YouTube. We've got a couple of videos on there. Dr. Bill is out this week and enjoying himself over there on the East Coast. Thanks to our senior producer, Robert Anthony. Thanks, Deb, for joining in on another episode. And we will see you next week. See you.
Bye.